The moon in your astrology chart is said to represent emotion, and this is true, but a deeper analysis is needed to fully understand the moon's qualities and how it affects our moods, our feelings, our sense of security, the home, the family, who we feel comfortable with, and how we react to different situations. In this video, we will explore some of the themes of the astrological moon and how we can get the best from our own moon placement through understanding some of the themes it represents. So, without further ado, please like and subscribe to my channel and let's gain some insight into the astrological moon. The moon is the closest satellite to Earth and the fastest in terms of cycles. The monthly cycle begins with the new moon, then 2 weeks later, there's a full moon, then roughly 2 weeks after that, the cycle repeats with another new moon, but next time it's usually in another sign. The moon placement in your natal chart or birth chart offers clues to how you can find inner peace, how you reflect on life, and how to seek nourishment for your soul. The glyph of the moon, crescent shape, represents the soul, and for this very reason suggests how we nurture ourselves at the deepest level of our existence. If we consider that deepest level to represent the requirements of the soul, it certainly appeals more on a divine level and how you can further appeal to the highest calling of your soul's needs and how you nurture your innermost spiritual guidance system in order to create a more fulfilling, satisfying life experience and therefore fill your soul. The moon is instinctive and suggests our feelings and reactions toward different situations and better describes our more basic animalistic nature. Instinct is not something we can learn, it's a natural behavioral process and determines your actions in given situations. For instance, feeling compromised or uncomfortable with something or someone else's behavior is your instinctual feeling that something doesn't feel right and creates a discomfort, or worse, may trigger something more serious like activating fight or flight mode, increasing cortisol levels, and sensing you may be in danger. On the other hand, instincts can also be positive, make you feel like you really want to get involved in something. Instinct can suggest the sensitivity of the moon and also how fragile we can be in determining our feelings and emotions and how we feel secure. We all have triggers that send alarm signals to us that activate our fight or flight reactions, and this is a sign that our moon placement is compromised or at best enhanced, whether it's by another astrological transit we are having, or maybe we have found ourselves in a situation that feels either exciting or repulsive. Take, for instance, the glyph of the moon, the upright crescent as a solid shape. How difficult would it be to balance it upright without it tipping over to one side or the other? If it's not supported, it falls over. This is how vulnerable our emotional well-being is in relation to external forces and influences that come from other people or life situations we find ourselves in. If we flip the moon's glyph or crescent onto its side, it becomes more bowl-shaped, like a container that can be emptied and refilled, like nourishment, food for the soul. If it is empty, crave something, can get agitated, easily irritated, unable to focus, easily upset, like when you're hungry. But then once you eat, you feel fine again. The moon in the chart is similar to that analogy. You must feed it what it needs, or it becomes unsettled, easily annoyed, dissatisfied. It craves change or seeks something familiar. The moon represents the image of mother and suggests some of the qualities we may have inherited. The moon's condition may also suggest whether the mother was loving or unloving, supportive or unsupportive. Maybe the mother was strict, a rule maker perhaps, emotional, unemotional. maybe even cold, resentful, or maybe not even there at all. It's worthwhile to ponder over some childhood memories, especially of the mother, because most of our personal complexes are formed at a very young age. And very often it's the parents and our experience of them that help influence the traits and qualities we have as grown ups. Our moon placement can show how we care, not only for ourselves, but also suggests how well we care for others. And that doesn't have to stop with loved ones or family members. That caring attitude can extend to friends, neighbours, customers, work colleagues, or even strangers on the street. Moon can also describe the home and family situation and what you need to recharge, reboot, or to reflect on things, because external circumstances can challenge and distort your sense of well being and how you feel in regard to them. The home can also be a reflection of the inner self, and the things you surround your home with can usually reveal the things that are most important to you. The moon is also important in relationships, your job, career, daily routine. So it's good to know that whatever your life situation is, that it appeals to your inner self at a soul level. As the moon influences mood, we must acknowledge that our moods can change fairly quickly, and this can be supported by understanding that the moon changes degree every couple of hours and changes sign every couple of days. It's also important to be aware that when it's traveling around the zodiac, it's also making aspects to every angle and every planet in your personal horoscope, as well as the other transiting planets. There are many factors that can influence the moon in your chart. First is sign placement, then house position, then aspects from other planets that can suggest challenge or virtue and determine how easy or difficult it is to achieve emotional fulfillment. After that, we have dispositors and rulers to consider, and they can also provide information and guidance on how to get the best handle of the influences of the moon in your chart. There is also the phase of the moon you were born in, which can suggest even more in regard to personality type. Because the moon returns to its natal position every 4 weeks, you will have a lunar return every month, which also gives clues in regard to the main themes for the coming month. In order to calculate your lunar return each month, you will need an accurate time of birth so that the exact degree and minute of the moon's position can be determined. Because there are so many factors that can be deciphered and open to interpretation, it's best to start off as simple as possible. And in this video, we will consider the element of the moon's placement in determining a foundation so that we can begin to build a clearer picture of the moon and how it can influence our day-to-day living, and also what we need long-term so that a fulfilling, satisfying state of being can be achieved. The moon is closely affiliated to the nature of femininity, mother, and feelings and emotion. The moon is said to feel most at home in the sign of Cancer, a water sign, the other two signs of water being Scorpio and Pisces. If your moon is in the water element, you're automatically in the feeling realm and may lean towards introversion. You will most likely be very imaginative and very aware of your feelings and emotions. You'll also be very understanding and considerate of the emotions of others around you, and almost psychically, you'll be able to feel the energy of others. You'll be sensitive to the world around you and likely to be very instinctual. These water moon types can be quite cautious when dealing with others and can be very guarded and careful about who they trust. Water moons can be very sensitive to the way they are treated by others. For example, if a stranger makes a personal comment about you or tries to hurt your feelings, this can be taken very personally and seriously for a water moon and affect the general mood for hours or days, weeks or months, or maybe even have a longer lasting effect that turns into a complex. Whereas a fire moon will likely respond with a totally different attitude and not accept any kind of obnoxious behavior directed towards it whatsoever. Water moon types can become very attached to others and sometimes place more importance on someone else rather than themselves. But they are generally very imaginative, caring, empathic, and creative. Because of their sensitive, caring nature, these water type people can be excellent listeners and can make careers out of helping others, whether that's through counseling, nursing, or assisting people who require special care. Good example of a water moon is the artist formerly known as Prince, a multi-talented singer, songwriter, and musician who successfully blended together many different genres and styles of music to come up with his own very unique and individual sound. If your moon is in the sign of Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, it is in the earth element and would be considered practical and concerned mostly with what has been tried and tested in a material sense. In other words, the physical world. The feelings of these moon types can be compared to sensation, particularly in the body, and how they feel in regard to how things work in the practical world. Earthy moons can be considered reliable and trustworthy, and if a job needs done, they will likely have a natural understanding of the practicalities of a given situation. Earthy moons like certainty, and satisfaction can be found in knowing the ground beneath their feet isn't going to slip away. So they see the importance in having a steady, reliable job, or by choosing a partner they can trust and rely upon in testing times. These people can have a natural knack for building their very own empires. That could be about building a successful business, or maybe finding satisfaction in having a nice home, or maybe a nice car, or maybe it's just to be solvent. They're good at tapping into a natural order of organization and finding out how practical things work, like banking, finance, savings, pensions, or even investments. Earthy moons know that having a healthy attitude towards money can bring security to the home and the family, and they understand the importance of having a rainy day fund in case things don't go to plan. Earthy moons should be wary of being overly focused on one specific goal and should take care not to suffocate their imagination or ability to see things from different angles. Earthy moon types can be really in tune with the physical selves, and time spent in nature appreciating the physical world and its beauty can be rewarding, fulfilling, and appreciative of the nice things in life and can assist with grounding and feeling at one with the earth. Spa treatments and body massage can also be beneficial for the general well-being of Earth moons. A good example of an Earth moon is Richard Branson, a person who has made an empire from his many businesses and quite possibly influenced largely by his mother, who promoted self-reliance and independence. If your moon is in Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, it's in the element of air, and that suggests the functions of the mind. That means thinking, ideas, communicating, and seeking information. Interaction with others is extremely important for airy moons as they feel comfortable when engaged in conversation and sharing ideas with others. It can be extremely satisfying and therapeutic for these types of moon people to have conversations about their thoughts and make them feel valued as friends or as part of something greater than just themselves, like a committed relationship or being part of a group or community that seeks to serve a purpose. Airy moons try to work things out by detaching from their emotions and use rational thought as a way of trying to analyze different situations or circumstances. They might be very good with words and know just the right thing to say at the right time. At best, they will seek a positive outcome in any situation, but at worst, can use their intelligence to manipulate someone for personal gain. Information is extremely important for air moons, and they usually seek as much info as possible before deciding on anything important. They can lack deep emotional feelings and can struggle with understanding emotions of others, and may come across as cold, unthoughtful, or inconsiderate as they don't understand the emotional depth of others. They are idea-driven, as opposed to feelings-driven, and have a detachment towards the emotional significance of others. But in a positive light, these are the people we need to work through problems and help create a healthy vision for humanity going forward. A good example of an air moon would be Jordan Peterson, a person who speaks out in regard to the problems in modern society and often speaks of the importance of positive communication in relationships. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius belong to the fire element and in general suggest a need for action, adventure, and getting involved in things. These fire moons like experience, thrills, excitement, and can be largely optimistic in regard to trying new things. Fire moons may get bored easily, so it's vitally important to have a schedule that includes some kind of adventure or challenge to overcome. They can have a competitive nature and may have a hunger for winning. With fire, it can be about getting to the next stage or the next level to see what kind of challenge or experience lies ahead. Fire moons can lean toward the extrovert and are not afraid to go after what they want, fighting off competition as they do so. Fire energy needs a certain amount of freedom to explore its interests and can find normal everyday rules and processes to be boring and therefore can push themselves more toward an individual path. They can also have great ideas and visions of what kind of life they want to live and can push towards it full steam ahead. Sometimes this can result in bad choices, bad decisions, and things not turning out the way they expect. Fire energy can be wild, uncontrollable, or unpredictable, so it's good to be aware of any of these traits that may lead to potential disaster. As fire energy likes to burn, it needs fuel to feed the fire, and that's why fire moon people can be continuously seeking the next big thing that excites them and arouses their enthusiasm. Fire people may feel closed in or restricted in some way by regular normal jobs or routines and need some more freedom or sense of adventure to keep their restless nature at bay. Good example of a fire moon is Tiger Woods, who focused his energy into sport and through his challenges became the greatest golfer of the modern era. So that's a general overview of the astrological moon and how it may operate primarily on its own and then in the four elements. However, as previously mentioned, there are many other factors that can influence the moon in your chart, but this video is more like a guide to getting to understand it more on a basic level and how important and significant it is when considering any major life changes. In the next video, I'll explore the different signs and modes and how they can further influence the condition of the moon. So, if you found this information helpful and would like to update it when my next one comes out, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to show some appreciation, you can click on the link in the description to buy me a coffee. But in the meantime, thank you for now and see you next time.